Hey, good morning guys. It's Ryan here from AllMine Ranch, and it is a beautiful Sunday morning. And today's the first day where my nose feels somewhat normal. You can see it's super red, but I've been doing a skin treatment with Fluorosil cream, and it's been inflamed and swollen and painful and making me really grumpy, especially when I'm trying to work outside in the heat. But I think I've turned a corner. I had to stop the treatment early because it was so painful and so disruptive to my life. So I did it for about 10 days. It's been 3 days since I put any Fluorosil cream on it. It's finally, it hurts. I can still feel it, but it's not as bad as it was. So it's Sunday morning. It's nice out here. It's about 73 or 74 degrees. Super quiet. It's just me and the birds and Stanley. Yesterday was a hyper productive day. Get this a little closer. Hyper productive. I did mostly landscaping. It rained for about an hour. It's been raining a lot lately, actually. We got an inch of rain the day before yesterday, just in 1 hour. So considering we only get about 19 inches of rain per year, to get 1 inch in an hour, that's a fairly substantial rain. So the ground is saturated, everything's wet, damp. The animals love it, the birds absolutely love it. And it's just one of those nice sort of end of summer mornings here where it's clear, it's quiet, it's calm. August, in fact, is one of our least windy months compared to April, which is our windiest. So in the spring, when it's super windy, it's annoying and I can't work many days just because it's so windy and it's beating me up. When it's calm, I can get a lot of work done, but boy, do I sweat. And yesterday it was humid and no wind and I was sweating. But I moved a lot of gravel. I enlarged a hole and put in 4 bags of cement with a corner post, which I think I've shown you or will show you. That's going to be the corner post for a new solar conversion chamber. And the reason it's sort of a big deal is because if you think of this homestead, AllMine Ranch, as I call it, I've been doing things in sort of there's 3 major phases to it. The first phase is just getting my tiny house here and getting all the solar systems and water filtration and all the basics so that I have power. So I built out a water closet with all the filtration stuff. I built out solar panel racks and a closet and added battery capacity. I've spent, $10,000 on batteries, which is crazy over the last 2 years. So that's phase 1, is just getting this tiny house, with the deck that I'm sitting on now and some plants, just getting the place livable, like the bare minimum. Don't have a flushing toilet still, using the camping toilet. Stanley, stay here. But that's the phase 1. Phase 2 is building a garage port and a workshop and basically the outbuildings and expanding the solar power capacity to feed the workshop. So adding more panels, adding another inverter, more battery, building the workshop itself. So that's all to get situated, to get functional, to be able to build and have space for my tools and to be able to lock them up, have parking for my motorcycle and my ATV, doing more landscaping work and grooming, creating fire breaks and some trails, things like that. That's all considered sort of phase 2 in my mind. This is all just in my mind. But phase 3 is finally turning my attention towards the main house, which from a building permit perspective is important to do because I only have 3 years on my building permit. That 3-year mark is coming up next spring. I can get a 4th year extension as long as I'm showing progress, but I've been feeling a little bit of pressure to get started on the main house. And now I feel like that I've put a corner post in for what will be the photon conversion chamber, which is the room, the closet. It's going to be an 8x8 room that's going to feed the main house. Once I build that room, I'm then going to build a big solar rack over top of it to sort of shelter my shelter. And that's all for the main house, of course. And then I will trench out and run power to the main house and install a panel. Then I can start, the two main things, or maybe the three main things for the main house to really feel in progress, is to get power to it, to frame out the walls so they're thicker so I can put in insulation and sort of start on framing, and to build another water closet with a new filtration system that is dedicated to the main house. Now maybe I could use the existing water closet. I haven't put in, or the water shed as I call it, I haven't put a lot of thought into that. I might be able to do that. But getting that, using the cisterns, getting plumbing and water to the main house so that I can run interior plumbing so that I can have a flushing toilet, that's a huge milestone as well. So those are sort of the three main things that I need to do. Everything after that can be slow and methodical and go beyond the time past which my building permit expires. But if I have the power and the water and the gray water figured out, I can show the inspector. It's not really an inspection, but he says, yeah, okay, you're done at some point. That would be nice. Then things like wall or exterior adobe walls to create a courtyard, and doing more framing of interior walls to create like a dedicated office space, and really building out the kitchen and doing the flooring and the ceiling and ceiling fans and AC, all that kind of stuff I think can be done after my building permit is done. So it's really the systems that feed, into the house, water and power. That's the main thing. So now I'm starting work on the building that is going to do that. So I'm entering phase 3. So that's a big deal. But today I'm going to move a bunch of scrap sheet metal into my main house. Oh, I see a big old rabbit near my cactus. I hope he's not eating my cactus. I see his ears twitching around in the distance. I like that cactus. I planted it. It's a prickly pear with roots that I bought and planted. I hope he's not over there eating it. Generally they leave that prickly pear alone because of the spikes. Hopefully he's just grazing the grass around it. Anyway, I'm going to do more landscape. Oh, there's a hummingbird. Bye, hummingbird. I'm going to do more landscaping today. Yesterday I moved a lot of gravel and rock to create smoother walkways, to fill in the French drain by the main house, to add a little more berm action there, to expand the rain catchment basins on the other side of my workshop. A lot of stuff like that. But the projects I'm going to be focusing on for the next couple of weeks is building that room, that photon conversion chamber. And also, I finally figured out the idea, my approach for doing the solar rack. I've been thinking about it for 6 to 12 months on the shape, the slope, how to actually hold the panels down. And I think I have it figured out, a way to do it with no metal hardware. I'm actually going to drop the frames into a grid so that they're flush with the top of the wooden grid. And that, of course, is going to be sloped. And if I wall it in so that there's no way for wind to get up under the panels, there would be no way for them to lift out and blow out when we get during monsoon season or anytime a storm comes. Because we get big outflow winds from our storms here. So I figured out the method for dropping in the solar racks, and I think I figured out the shape and the walls and the height and all that. But I'm going to do a test solar rack that will hold 4 panels that's going to be over near my Margot, my travel trailer. And I've got a few ideas there. I'll do a whole video just dedicated to that. But I bought some lumber yesterday. I got up early in the morning. Emptied the camping toilet. Then I went to Home Depot and dropped about $150 on a few pieces of lumber, 2x10s, long ones, 16-foot 2x10s. And those are expensive. They're about $30 each. So I bought a few of those and some other wood. So at some point I'm going to go inside the main house and start building that out in the main house. It's going to be big and bulky, so there's only so much I can do before the weight of it gets to be prohibitive, and I'm going to have to bring some wood outside and build it right where the solar panels will actually live. So that's probably next weekend. Next weekend is a 4-day weekend for me. It's Labor Day next weekend. I already had Monday off. I'm taking a Friday off to make it a 4-day weekend. And my goal is to finish that solar rack. I have no system to connect it to, but at least I'll be able to say, yep, this method works. I understand my approach, and that'll give me more confidence to actually build the solar rack. But before I can build it, I've got to build the room that all the solar gear is going to go in, which will be hiding underneath it. So I'm going to work on that a little bit today and do more landscaping and get rid of some firewood. That I'm trying to get rid of anything that's a fire hazard. Next weekend I'll probably do a dump run as well, because I've got a bunch of scrap wood and things like that that's near the house that could catch fire if there were a fire. But we got a lot of rain lately, so everything's pretty damp, so I think fire risk is going to be low until winter, when things really dry out. Alright, well, I'm just going to sit here and enjoy some coffee. I like to start my day on the weekends by sitting out here on the deck for about an hour and just watch the birds, watch the animals, the dragonflies, the hummingbirds, all that, and just watch the day warm up, drink my coffee, and kind of ease my way into the day. Then at some point I'll put on my boots and some pants and go start laboring. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you had a great weekend too.